Here comes the beat. Sorry, they're not perfect. They're perfect. They're trying the wrong spot. Perfect. All right, guys. I'd like to thank everybody for coming again. My name is Tommy McGee. I'm the lead pastor here. I'm grateful that all of you are here today. We're going to go over a few announcements to kind of let you know what's going on in our church community. All right. Kids night should have came off there. We just had the kids night. It did not come off. But baptisms, we're doing baptisms on May 31st. We're doing directly after church. So it'll actually be after the meal since we eat now. So we'll have the meal. We'll baptize people. I believe we have 5 or 6 people signed up already. We have a sign-up sheet here if you're interested in getting baptized. Please, I'm going to pass it around with the basket or whatnot, or pass after the basket. It's also on the Connect cards. That if it's your first time here or you've been here before, you can fill it out on your Connect card. Get with us on other ways. So we're going to do baptisms directly after, which is a big deal. Even if you aren't getting baptized, I encourage you to stay here, eat with us, and watch people make a declaration of their faith in Jesus. So it's really a big deal. Next. All right, fireworks stand. Life Recovery Church has been blessed with the opportunity to man a fireworks stand. So basically, we got a turnkey operation of a fireworks stand, and we're going to be right here at the Wash House on 24 on the north side of Sterling. So the blessing is that if we can sell 100,000, you see I put $100,000 on there. We want to sell $100,000 in fireworks because we get 20% towards our building fund if we can do that. Now, I did the math last night. $100,000 in fireworks is only, I think, 100 people spending $100. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a huge ask. That's not a huge deal. Or actually, it's $1,000 or 1,000 people spending $100. Sorry, 1,000 people spending $100. That's still not a huge deal because some of us spend $500, $600, $700, $800 on fireworks. So I encourage you to invite everybody you know to the fireworks stand. So say, hey, you're going to be spending money. Come spend it with us. We're also going to need help manning the fireworks station. We got to man this thing 24 hours a day for about 12 days, from the 24th to the 5th. Also, 9 a.m. that day, I'm going to need help unloading, setting up, getting things organized so that we have people that come in and they go out to the cash registers. It's going to be a really neat deal. I encourage you to please get involved with this. If we can do the 20,000 with the 10 or so we have in the fund already, I believe we'll have enough to pay the down payment on this church. Right? We'll just have to find the bank to loan it to us, and I believe God will provide that. So let's get involved in this fireworks thing. I'm going to talk to the city because I'd like to see if we could do a barbecue on the 4th there and shoot off our own fireworks and things like that, because fireworks are legal in Sugar Creek. So we might be able to blow up 24 highway. Next, not like we used to though, right? Come on now. Bring it in, get with it. Tuesday night, we have a process group downstairs. It meets downstairs. It's a clinical process. There's a clinical person there. It's coping skills, things with life. Like life gets heavy, you can process what's going in. You can come in and drop it in an anonymous place. We believe that it's a good space to have that. It's inside of a church. So that's Tuesday nights at 6:30. Also, we're building a worship team. Our member Noel is doing the group and helping us build a worship team. We're rolling that out on Wednesday nights. Directly before Bible study, if you want to, you could come do an audition, do some singing. And, we need singers, we need drum players, we need guitar players. We want to start building a worship band. So, trying to rush through the announcements and said we were going too long. All right, Starfish Transitional is in need of women's hygiene products and women's things for women coming out of the streets or out of prison. We've partnered with them. They've helped us with some of our fundraiser stuff and things like that. We have a box downstairs where you can get with Amber and give her cash donations or whatever and get with them. Trace Diaz Retreat. So Trace Diaz is a 3-day weekend with Jesus. It's an encounter with God like I've never experienced in my life, and I've been in and out of churches for a long time. I've been encouraging everybody. We are going to try to take we're going to take a group of men. right? And then the next following weekend is the women's. We're going to take a group of women. If you don't have the money, somebody will sponsor you. I've talked to Trace Diaz. They're willing to bring in some sponsors. The church is willing to bring in some sponsors. Get signed up. We have a sign-up sheet coming for this. It's in September. The men's is in September, and the women's is in October. You can get a picture of this if you want. But it's a great opportunity to just cleanse yourself, pressed into Jesus, learn some stuff. And create community. Because there are men and women from all the different denominations, all different kinds of churches. Like you leave denomination and religion at the door, and you just check in and you press into Jesus, and it's amazing. I've seen it bring pretty tough men to tears. So with all of these things going on, the church growing and things happening, we need people to sign up. We need to build teams. We need to use your skills not only in the worship team, but organization, cleaning. Like we have a lot going on here. The fireworks stand. Come be involved with the church instead of just visiting the church. You know what I mean? It's a really big deal. I do want to, because I'm about to forget. I'm going to pass the basket right now. If you got a couple, put a couple in. If you need a couple, take a few out. And we mean that. Also, the sign-up sheet is around. If you want to raise your hand, she can get it to you and get you signed up for the baptisms. The fireworks sign-up sheet for shifts is downstairs on the fourth floor. So there's shifts up there. If you could do a Saturday afternoon, or if you could do anything you could do is going to take some of the grunt off of the core people. Like when I signed us up for this, I decided that if I had to be there for 12 days, I would stay there for 12 days because I'll stay at the dope house for 12 days. Come on, right? So I stayed in jail. Like I stayed in a lot of places that weren't for some good. So I don't want to have to stay there for 12 days. You know what I mean? But I'm prepared to. We've had some people volunteer to stay overnight to keep the place secure. So just get on the sign-up sheet. Let's try to fill it up. We're going to ask for help in the community too. If you know somebody in the community that wants to be of service to something that's going on, they can come serve a shift Saturday afternoon. The good news is that and I try not to get caught in this, but I'll get revved up, is that we get to hand out tracts and tell them about Life Recovery Church, right? Because it's going to be people, this is the closest fireworks stand to these people, right? So the people that live in this community, so they're going to be up there. We get to smile, we get to hug them. It's going to tie into what we're talking about a little bit later. We get to hug them. And things like that. We get to show them that we do recover, right? We get to show them that son or that daughter, that somebody that they think is too far gone can come back, you know, and then maybe they know about this place to invite them to next year, and if they come in that door broken, and we get to help them. So it's a really big deal. Let's get involved together. All right, we're on a 6-week series that I started after we finished our study. It's called Introducing the King. We wanted to figure out, you know, who is this king? Who is this God? Like, what does the Bible say God is? How you doing? Are you on your phone again? There we go. Never mind. I didn't say that live, did I? So it's a 6-week series. Who is God? Who is the king? Right? So we want to get to know who God is, who it is we're serving. Because a lot of us are coming in, like we've been told lots of things and heard lots of things, and everybody's got an opinion, which that's cool. That's cool. But who does the Bible say? Like, what does God say? So we've been going over this for 6 weeks. Next. All right. So what I did is I broke it down into 6 sections. We had the creator, which we talked about the creator in Genesis, how God created everything in 6 or 7 days. Then he created us. And then went right into the provider, how God provided all of this for us. Everything that we have now is already here. From the gold chains to the wood out here, like everything that he gave us is here already when he gave us this earth. So he also provides that job, whether you think if not, he provides all these things for us. And then we went into the teacher last week. Like last week we talked about God teaching us through people, God teaching us through lessons, hard-earned lessons, teaching us through our grandma, and then people tried to tell us to do things this way, we went this way, and we ended up in jails or mental hospitals, or we ended up in great pain. We had suffered great loss. Because, and in that was a lesson, right? We've been taught that. So now it's my responsibility to teach others and say, you're probably going to wreck. You know what I mean? You're probably, you're going to wreck. You know, so as God being a teacher, and then there's those teachers that teach us biblically and biblically sound, like there's mentors, there's sponsors, there's people that in life that we need to teach us things. And it's all coming from God, because God is going to make sure you have the information. Just like we knew where the liquor store was. Guess what? God made sure there was a church close. like almost within walking distance. You know what I mean? Like, so God's going to make sure that you're taught. And today what we want to talk about is the Father, right? And this, even when you say the word Father, I mean, I don't know about you, but we all have this stuff that comes in our head. You know what I mean? Like we had our Father. Some of us were blessed and became fathers, right? Not very good fathers for a while, you know what I mean? Some of us. So the word Father in itself carries some weight, some depth, right? When you say that, we all go somewhere that means something, right? Like we can say a lot of things. When we say Father, a lot of things come up. So what is a father? What do you say a father is? Like what comes to your mind? How many of us are fathers? I wanted to see this. Like how many of us have children? It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So I wanted to look up father, and like you said, I like to use Dr. Google. It's quick, easy. Google, tell me what a father is. A father is fundamentally defined as a male parent. However, the term expands from beyond biblical biological definitions, encompassing roles as a provider, a guide, or a creator. So we talked about that kind of a sponsor, a counselor, and all them things the other day. So some of us had different experiences when it comes to fathers, right? Other than that, like some of us might have had a great father. Some of us had a different experience. Like I had a different experience. My dad was on crack cocaine all of my life. He was absent in a lot of things. Okay, a lot of things. My father, I don't remember learning anything positive from my father. I don't remember him sitting down and saying, hey, Tommy, this would be good if you go get a credit card and you take care of it. I don't remember any of this. I remember smoking crack cocaine with my father for the very first time. Me and my girlfriend. My biological father. Like the man that slept with my mom in 1977. Like I remember smoking crack cocaine with my father. I remember my second father, my stepfather, a man named Randy. Randy worked really hard. Randy had been to prison prior to my mom. So Randy was tough. Like we're talking 70s, 80s prisons, right? So Randy was tough. He had a little bit of racism in him, right? And I remember him working hard, making 4th of July is a really big deal, making a lot of things a really big deal in the home. But I also remember the belt, right? I remember him making me pull my pants down and bend over and whipping me at a young age. I remember going to school. With bruises from here to here, right? I remember the people coming to the house. Like I remember this. I remember things like, don't come home with your butt kicked or I'm going to kick your butt again, right? Don't get into it out there. I remember a kid named Carol Colson beat me with a rock in Blue Springs when I was a kid. We lived out there for about a year. And I came home bloody. And it's because that man told me, don't ever hit a woman. And I literally let her split my head open. Like I remember him. Right? I remember him. I also remember cooking methamphetamines with him after he left my mother. Right? I remember selling methamphetamines for him. Right? These are my fathers. These are the biological fathers. You know, I don't remember, once again, I remember him working hard, but I don't remember him ever hugging me. I don't remember my other dad ever hugging me. I remember trying to tongue kiss me one time and at my grandma's house. He was drunk. I don't remember any of this. I go to my third dad, stepfather. He was 10 years younger than my mom. They met in a bar. They had a reckless relationship with a lot of fighting, a lot of domestic violence in the home. I hated this man. By this time, I was a teenager. I remember fighting this man, right? Because my mom, he was hitting my mom. I remember resenting this man. I also remember cooking methamphetamine with this man, stealing with this man, theft with this man, right? Like just the stuff we get into with this man. I don't remember hugs. I don't remember insightful stuff. I don't remember any of that. Am I alone?
No.
Anybody else have fathers that they just, I hope I'm not alone. I say this just to set the tone for what we're going to go into. Next is I want to set the tone about how important a father really is. Right? Like how important what the people are teaching us is. You know, I went on, I don't even have to tell you what kind of life I went on and lived. Right? I don't have to tell you, like it's evident. So what's your example of a father look like? Like was he abusive? Was he there? Like what was your example of a father? I looked up some hold on, on a second. Get to it. So how important is the Father in the Bible? Right, so I want to go forward one. Boom. In Matthew 12:29 it says, and this is Jesus, this is Jesus talking to people. This is the Almighty God. This is the sacrifice. And he says, or how can someone enter a strong man's house and plunder his goods, right, which is his children, and deceive his children, and the devil get in there and get them on drugs and confused about who they really are, and whether they're man or female, who can't, right, who can't? A strong man's house. Now, I mean spiritually strong. I don't mean like my stepdad that was strong. He wasn't keeping that stuff out the house. Unless he first binds the strong man. Unless he gets you on drugs. Unless he gets you on alcohol. Unless he gets you caught up on porn so you leave your wife and you're lusting something that don't exist. The type of stuff they do on there does not exist for reality. That's a drug world, like it just doesn't. Unless he binds the strong man. Has he ever bound you up? They ever took you away from your children? He bound me up, man. At a young age, I was bound, I was tied, I was chained. Then indeed, he may plunder the house. So in our absence, like in our absence, right? In our absence, we leave. We leave. And what happens? He plunder in our house, and this has nothing to do with your goods. Like this has to do with the things that matter most to you. Our children, our brothers, our sisters. You know, I look back often and think if I was different, my brothers that have passed on would have been different. You know, it's always not your plan. They would have been different. So I wanted to do some research. Like I went into doing some research about fatherless children, fathers in the home, right? Like what's going on with fathers. There are nearly 18.5 million fatherless children in the United States, which is the largest percentage of fatherless children in the world. To put it in a different way, 1 in 4 kids in the U.S. live without a biological step or adoptive father in the house. In the same research that I did, it goes on to say, the report went on to highlight that all too familiar facts that children with fathers had increased prosperity, higher academic performance, and improved social mobility across all racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups. So with men in the home, with you staying where you're supposed to be, right, wrong, or indifferent, being where God put you, your children, which I hope are the most important thing to you men, right? Your children have a better chance at prosperity, higher academic performance, improved social mobility, and it doesn't matter what color it is. A father's important. So let me go on. So those without a father saw an 85% increase in behavior disorders, compromised, 90% of homeless. So that means comprised 90% of the homeless and runaways were 9 times more likely to quit school and made up to 70% of those in drug and alcohol treatment centers. I don't know if I'm talking about our population. I thought this was like the Recovery Church. I hope that I am.
Come on.
And I hope that we dig in, because as I go through this, I realize how important it is for me to stand fast when the enemy comes. How important it is for me to stay where I'm supposed to be, because my children's life depends on it. I want to show a quick video real quick. And this, go to the next one, please. All right, this is a policeman, and this is his nephew. And I just want to show the video and the importance of it. This kid is in trouble, right? This kid's in trouble. Some of us been in trouble. And here comes his uncle that's a cop. Go ahead and push play.
Fight broke out in New Orleans during Carnival. This police officer, who happens to be the boy's uncle, showed up to talk to him. The moment he hugged his nephew, the young man broke down in tears. Just goes to show how powerful love and family guidance can be.
So after he got on him, if you watch the whole video, this is the only clip I could get in the real quickness. But after he got on him, he said, "Hey man, Then he hugged him, and the kid broke down and cried. You know what I mean? The kid cried. And that's when them hugs, like I said, I don't remember hugs. I don't remember guidance like that. Bro. All right. So I want to talk about incarceration for a minute. There are approximately 1.16 million men incarcerated in state, federal prisons across the United States. Men make up the vast majority, about 93% of overall incarcerated population. Total percentage, about 47% of men in state prisons and 57% in federal prisons have children. I just want to let that sit there because I remember being in prison and I remember being away and I remember what that's like. I have friends that are in prison. I have, we have got to stand fast. Women, like I'm about to bring y'all into this. It isn't just men, it's women. It's women, so we have to stand fast. I want to go into church attendance real quick. So, because as I was researching this, I'm like, okay, so what is church? How many men really attend church? This is going to blow your mind in a minute, but the numbers have always been that more women attended church than men, right? That's been the numbers. But in church attendance, recent national surveys show that roughly 40 to 43% of adult men in the U.S. attend church weekly, with an adult male population of roughly 175 million. This translates to approximately 7 to 75 million attending a house of worship on a regular basis. Man, that's good. That's good. I was impressed because the numbers used to be way down. All right, I'm going to keep going into this just to kind of show you the gravity of what's really happening. So then it says gender flip in the same article that I'm reading. Gender flip. Men now outpace women in regular church attendance. Barna Group research reports 43% of men attend weekly compared to 36% of women. I'm like, whoa, like for years it was the women that were, so there's been a gender flip. Now, why has there been a gender flip? And check this out, youth lead, right? The surge in male attendance is primarily driven by Gen Z. Some of our children. Some of the people that are underneath us. Gen Z and the millennial men. According to polling Gallup, 40% of young men ages 18 to 29 now attend religious services monthly or more. I think they're looking for their father.
Come on.
Or you think their father's calling them? Huh?
Come on.
You think your father's calling them? You think he ain't shaking up the trees? Because I believe that he is. Let's go on to the next. Generational divide. While young men are showing an uplift in religiosity, attendance among older generations, boomers and olders, that's most of us, remains highest among women. So there's been a shift, like in most of our generation, like it's still higher above the women, but there's been a shift because us absent men that got these numbers way up, or that are in prison, or that never grew up and didn't know how to become a man, or didn't have a man to teach them how to be a man. Like I'm not going to say it's not your fault. We all have choices, but all of what I knew was only what I knew. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Like I couldn't have possibly learned something that wasn't taught to me outside where I was at. So I'm so passionate about this and bringing men and women out of family and things, because society has made it look as if divorce, cheating, lying, yelling, popping pills, drugs is the normal. Like we walk outside of here and there are more people doing that nonsense than there are people that are out here trying to honor God and sacrifice themselves to their marriage. Sacrifice that dope to serve God. Sacrifice all that so that we can do something. I challenge the people today, ask God about that divorce, because we know what the answer is. You ask God if you should continue to look at porn? We know what the answer is. You ask God if I should continue to do drugs? Or if I should continue to lie? Well, you must not have got in here, because it's all outlined in here that definitely God's not with the phone. Go one more. So I'm also talking to you ladies. And what I mean by that is because y'all had fathers. Some of y'all became fathers when other people were away. Some of y'all doing double duty, right? Some of y'all were absent, right? Father and mother absent. And I say this too because this is important that the person and the men and your brothers and everybody that you choose to be around you or you put in the car with you or that you minister to, because believe it or not, women minister to men all the time. Like I talk to my wife a lot, right? I talk to my wife more than anybody. You know what I mean? So she gets an opportunity to minister to me, call me on my crap, hold me accountable to the man that the Bible says I should be, right? Tell me when and I don't like it. Come on now. Don't nobody like to, you know what I mean, challenge. You know, don't really be challenged. But are you challenging the men in your life? Are you challenging your sons? Like, are you challenging the people around you, women, to live up to this standard? Or are we attracted to Willie Wop and the Bop Bop? This is real. Like, I remember being Willie Wop and the Bop Bop. Right? Like, I remember. Right? You know, I'm just keeping it real, bro. Like, so women, what are you reaching out towards? Are you reaching toward God in that man? Are you reaching toward what you see as this man is sacrificing himself for God? That he's living? Are you reaching toward this guy that's living with you?
Come on.
That's the reality of it. Like, what does God say? I encourage you to reach towards God. This sermon isn't just about you because fathers have to do with mothers. Mothers have to do with families and kids. And the enemy has completely destroyed what it was, you know. He's destroyed what it is. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay for divorce. Like, what? Like, not if you got married in a godly church in front of a godly man, a covenant with God. Like, it's not okay. It's just not okay. So I'm not going to get stuck on that either. Because I can. All right, I want to get into scripture because we've heard a little bit about some research and some things. Like I wanted to dive into scripture because there's a lot of fathers in scripture. Like, there's a lot. I could have kept digging stories. But I wanted to go to Abraham, right? Because Abraham has implications of Jesus. And I'm going to point it out if you've never seen it. I'm going to point it out here. But Abraham, if you know the story of Abraham, is like he ended up having a kid with a mistress because his wife couldn't get pregnant. Like, they're old, they're like 100 years old. You know what I mean? Like, and God comes to him as an angel. And God said to Abraham, as for Sarai, your wife, you shall not call her Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. I will bless her, and moreover, I will give you a son by her. I will bless her, and she shall become nations. Kings of people shall come from her. Then Abraham fell on his face and laughed. What? Like, this is the guy, this is Abraham, right? He's like, laughs, like, you laughed at God? Like he couldn't believe it. Shall a child be born to a man who is 100 years old? Like, this was impossible by their standards, just like it's impossible by our standards. Like, it's just not. How many in here think you're going to have a kid at 100 years old? So God probably gets why he laughed at him. Like, okay, you don't believe? Check this out. Shall Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a child? And Abraham said to God, let's go to Genesis. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. You know, he was talking to God this whole time. Let's go one more. Then this is later on in the same book, and it says, then Abraham reached out his hand. So this is where God came to Abraham and says, okay, this son that I blessed you with, this son that you laughed and didn't believe that you could have, this blessing he gave you, or whatnot, right? Now God says he wants it back. You remember that house I let you get? Check this out. I want you to walk away from that house and go to Cambodia and do ministry, right? It's the reality of it. The thing you worked so hard for. And this is later on. He's been raising this son. He's been present. He's been godly. He's been pouring into him. And God says, I want him back. As a matter of fact, I want you to kill him and sacrifice him for me. So Abraham drags him all the way up the stairs and says, and Abraham reached out his hand and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, and you know, if you haven't read this story, dig into this story, there's a lot of meat here. There's a lot of meat here. And here comes the angel from Abraham, and he said, here I am. He said, do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, seeing you have not withheld your son, like he gave him his kid.